I'll sign. Like to call regular meeting to order at 5:32 p.m.
Keith Gordon.
Yes, sir.
Tim Hand.
Yes, sir.
Jason Lloyd.
Yep.
Michelle Kelly. Here. James Wilson. Here. Sean Greenwood.
Here.
James Carlin.
Here.
Riley Burman.
Stand and flex.
Students, foundation, and God, and this law, the state trust for all.
Have any persons to address the board? I need a motion to approve the revised agenda. So moved. There was a motion. Second. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Presentations to the board. Any of that here? Move on to the motion to approve the minutes for February 10th, 2026. Motion. Motion. Sorry. Max was second. Any questions, comments, concerns on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Administrative data. Presentation from the admin.
All right, so welcome to our March presentation. I put a little joke up there for St. Patrick's Day. It's okay to pretend to be Irish on St. Patrick's Day, you know, like to pretend to be good on Christmas. So we need a little humor every once in a while, right? So tonight's presentation has a bunch of different information, but I wanted to give you a little bit of update of what we know so far regarding the government's proposed budget for education. So this is the latest information that has come from NISCUS, which is the New York State Council of School Superintendents. So there's been a significant increase in school aid, foundation aid, and universal pre-kindergarten. These are some numbers that we haven't seen in quite some time. You'll see that 68% of districts in the state are projected to receive the minimum increase for the foundation aid formula. We are very blessed here at Genesee Valley. It's projected right now that we're going to get somewhere between 9.5% and 11% increase in our aid. So we are not one of those 68% of districts, which is great for us. The state is still including in the building aid. You know, they're still pushing a lot of the renewable energy type of activities that districts can participate in. And even with the communication and advocacy that has come from various groups around the state, there are no proposed changes to those zero emission buses. So in the next 10 years is when districts across the state are expected to go to the zero emission buses. So more information of that to come. A couple other things to just highlight for you. The state is looking to maintain the universal free student meals. So if you remember after the 2019-2020 school year, this has increased and all of our students are not able to get breakfast and lunch as free meals here at school. The state is also putting additional money into high impact tutoring, regional hub pilots to provide training for educators, the NYSET Education and Learning Trust, which provides a lot of online professional learning for teachers, accelerated teacher programs. And they're also looking to add more money to some programs where high school students who are interested in going into the teaching field can get funding to help pay for some initial college credits. So just some interesting stuff coming out of the current budgetary information that we have, and we'll keep you updated as we get any more or there are changes. There is one thing I just wanted to, in some of the information we've received, this is the estimate of what employer contributions are going to be to the ongoing pension plans. And that you'll see for next year, it's, the estimation is 9.59% contribution by employers. So those numbers fluctuate each year a little bit, and that gives you some history back to 2022.
That's for TRS.
I also wanted to give you an update on where we are with all of our capital projects. So, you can see the screen, we have quite a number of them. So we have our 2025 capital project, which is the one that just went out for vote in the fall that we received, passing vote on. That is a $15.5 million project. We just received full SED approval, just 2 or 3 weeks ago for that. And you can see what is included in that project. The 26-27 capital outlay project, that will be submitted to SED and will be included in the May vote, budget vote. The building condition survey, which we do every 5 years, was due to the state March 1st. That has already been submitted. The 25-26 capital outlay project, which is redoing many of the floors in district office and then providing sensors in the building. That work is going to happen over April break. The energy performance contract construction has begun, and the 2023 capital project construction has begun. And last month I shared with you some of the photos of the bus lift and what was going on over there. So we have a lot of stuff going on, but Mr. Graham and our team is doing a really good job of managing all that. So just wanted to give you a little update on our capital projects. I also wanted to just talk very briefly about ESSA, which is the Every Student Succeeds Act. So if we all remember back, this replaced No Child Left Behind. And I had shared some information at last month's meeting about what is measured for each school district in New York for ESSA. So we have academic achievement, student growth, grad rates, English language proficiency. We don't have enough students to have a subgroup for that category, so that data isn't relevant for our district. Attendance, and then college and career and civic readiness. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to a training at CA BOCES where they provided us with our most recent ESSA data. And remember, the ESSA data puts schools into categories. So you're either a local support and improvement school, which is the old term for good standing. You can become a comprehensive support and improvement school, a targeted support and improvement school, or a school that is going to be into receivership by the state. And you can see from our numbers, each of these categories is out of 1 to 4. And so you can see the only categories where we could use some improvement is under growth level. And what's very interesting that I learned at my training was this isn't just if Paige takes the 3rd grade ELA assessment, what is my score the next year in the 4th grade assessment? This is Paige as a 4th grader, what was my score in relation to every other 4th grader in New York and how much their scores grew. So this is one of those things that like we can do our best locally with our tier 1 instruction and our intervention and our tier 2 supports. But it's like one of those nebulous numbers when it's against tens of thousands of students across the whole state. So, but those are our numbers as of a couple weeks ago when the state released them to all of us. I just want to give you an update for winter sports. So spring sports started yesterday, but for winter sports, we had 5 sports teams that were deemed scholar athlete teams. And we had 35 individual scholar athletes. So those are some really great numbers. And here are our spring sports numbers. So between softball, golf, tennis, baseball, and track and field, we have 152 students who are participating in sports.
Just ours?
No, that's the combined numbers.
Okay.
Yep. And as I just mentioned, spring sports started yesterday. And you know, there's always conversation each season with sports about the home games here at GB versus the home games at Belfast. And so, we wanted to just share with you specifically about softball and baseball, how many games are scheduled at each site. And one of the things that our athletic director, Ms. Ryan, brought to my attention is that there are only 11 baseball umpires serving the entire league. That's a big league and a lot of area to cover. So they have asked the ADs to try to stack games so that there can be more than one game on a particular day, just so that umpires can get more games in without doing the traveling. And so because Belfast has lights on their baseball field, you will notice that some of the numbers may look skewed, not as even as we're used to, but that's the reason. It's really as a result of the lack of umpires to help manage those games. The other thing I just wanted to share is last week at the athletic committee meeting, we talked about the dual sports form, which was developed by the two superintendents and the two athletic directors to help manage those students that want to play two sports in one season. We really worked really hard, number of hours we put into it, along with consultation from other schools in section 5. And will there be hiccups with the form and the process? I'm sure, but we'll face those challenges and try to make adjustments moving forward. I wanted to give you a little events update. So we had the concussion forum last Monday with Mrs. Hand, and there were 35 participants, which was deemed a really good turnout for that particular. I wanted to let you know that the first week of May, the dental services clinic will be here for a couple of days doing dental screenings on our students. And then on April 20th, the Allegheny Association for the Blind will be here to do some vision screenings for our pre-K classes, pre-K 4 classes. And then there are 2 swimming events scheduled from our aquatics director for March, including an open swim and a pre-K swim. So I just wanted to let you know about those health services and events that are coming up. And not also to forget that this week is the play. The Wizard of Oz is this week. And now principal updates. Mrs. Donlin.
So the picture there is our 3 National Technical Honor Society inductees for this year. So Bryce, Graham, and Mira. And Paige and I went over to the ceremony on the 11th of February, and it was very nice. Middle school dance on the 13th went very well. 40 students attended, so about half of all the 7th and 8th graders went there. Good time. Mrs. Preston's been taking students to visit college campuses, and in the last month, she's gone to Alfred State, one day to the Wellsville campus and one day to Alfred. Read Across America, I hope you saw pictures of that. That was a great event and lots of fun activities, guest readers in classrooms. I got to read 5th grade. It's fun. Upcoming events is a drama presentation, The Wizard of Oz, this coming weekend. And next Friday, the 20th, is the NHS induction. Everybody's invited. It starts at 8 a.m. Very interested in attending.
Thank you. Yeah. You want me to read them for you so you don't have to go, Mrs. Taylor?
Okay, so last month, our special education students, I don't know, some of you probably saw pictures. Every year they get to go to an event. It's hosted by BOCES. They do it at Holiday Valley. And so they get to go do like all the fun winter things at Ellicottville, tubing, all of that stuff. So a lot of our kids went. Then we also had our character word assembly. We did acceptance and trustworthy for the month of January and February. Last week was Read Across America week. And I put in here a special thank you to Holly Leveni, because there's no way that I would have been able to do half as good of a job as she did. She organized everything. It was great. The kids had such a good week with all the different events, and you can see some of the pictures right there. A lot of new people in the building, which was really fun. And then we also participated in a special breakfast last week. It was like National School Breakfast Week, and Amy came to me and really wanted to make it fun for the kids. So we were able to plan that, and the kids really enjoyed it. we did our whole group PBIS reward today. So we went around to all the different classrooms and actually students have exceeded the PAL goal already. So, which is amazing. So we did ice cream, but we added brownies in them too. And then we did like ice cream sundaes for everyone. So the kids had fun with that. First grade is going on a field trip next week. And she already mentioned the 2 open swim dates for March. Those are my updates.
Thank you.
All right, any questions on any of that? No?
You want a motion about the Wizard of Oz, the different things, yes.
As soon as I figure out how to get, oh. Yeah, so the Wizard of Oz has 2 casts. The Ruby cast and the Emerald cast. So there's actually 4 performances, so there's Thursday night at 7 and Friday night at 7 is one cast. And then Saturday at 2 and Saturday at 7 is the other cast. And so it's actually 2 different productions and interpretations of the Wizard of Oz. So I plan on attending Thursday night and Saturday afternoon, so figure can't see one without the other, so. And they've been working really hard down there, so.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, she's got a ring now and everything.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll be here soon.
Everybody keeps saying that.
Everybody but the guys.
Exactly.
We go for a side ride.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to board committee reports.
We had an athletic committee meeting start out there. I know Paige touched on most of it there. I was gonna bring up that we had some good conversations on process with students on the school sports. Then one area we're still working on is aligning with Belfast to make sure that we're all doing the same things. Paige has done a good job of that, scheduling weekly meetings or scheduling
No, every other week.
every other week, so bi-weekly meetings. I mean, we still see things here and there that pop up, but I think it's getting better and better. That's kind of. We can say, I mean, I could say that not every single decision everybody always agrees with, but something I appreciate from the athletic committee is that we have those conversations, and even if we don't always agree on how to get there, how to build a competitive program, we all want to get to that level. So that speaks well in partnership. And I think as long as we keep striving for the continuous improvement, that will be. Sean and you got more.
I think our athletic directors are doing it. They work well together. I think they got us moving in the right direction. Survive the first, I think it's actually going pretty well. Work themselves out.
We have policy committee meeting and budget, but I was like, the budget negotiations. But policy committee meeting, Paige had kind of mentioned, makes a lot of sense that it kind of gives us quarterly updates on some of the policies that we're mandated to adopt as a board and or suggested language changes. I don't think you did any better.
No.
Yeah, it's a nice, well, right. So one of the things that is kind of, it's tedious for me at least is, some of the policies that you're gonna see on here, it's maybe like a 1-word, 2-word change, a change in language. I mean, it has a meaning. There's a reason that they want us to change it, but you're gonna see some on here that we adopted, I think in February of last year. They're not on here by accident. They've already decided that a couple things in there should change. We also are, you know, kind of talking about plans to move forward in going over, our pre-existing policies in the future to make sure that, you know, maybe some of the ones that are from 2009 or prior, that we're making sure we give them a good look. Even little things, for instance, like there's some that we looked at where we kind of boxed ourselves into, this is the amount we're gonna pay for something, but that amount was based on a 2009 rate and things about it obviously
Right.
changed. So we have plans and, for that, and then also Paige shared that Pam and Jeff are, oh, you are,
We're almost done. We've just got a few little, she said,
okay.
he's got them there. How soon? This week, I know, like, in minutes.
You know, I'm genuinely excited about this. So for all of you that regularly look at our policies online, it hasn't been the most user friendly. You're laughing, Sarah's laughing, she's laughing. It's not the most user friendly that it could be also, so we kind of identified some different goals that we wanted. And Kim Marciano had helped out initially to kind of change the way that looks, the way that we're notifying people of new policies, and the way that we're able to look things up. So again, thanks for all your work on that. You know, that's a big undertaking. And I'm pleasantly surprised to know that that's going to be done a lot.
It's gonna be broken down by 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 instead of having to put it into this huge manual. So it's gonna be a lot easier for everybody.
But you'll also have the ability to search it
Yes.
if you're looking for a specific keyword or whatever. And then also, there's gonna be kind of a spot for, like I said, the new policies, so that if someone wanted to go, if they are more interested in stuff that's newly adopted or changed, they can see that. Too. So I think we, like athletics, it sounds like are in a really good, position moving forward to make some improvements and, are organized. You guys have specific questions about any of the ones in here, or anything that you read, feel free to ask, but they honestly are very, like I said, neat. Other than the concussion protocol, is that one of the first reading one?
So some of the first reading one will,
Concussion management, that's a brand new policy, right?
no, the brand new policy is cybersecurity incident response 5851. That's a new required policy.
Okay,
All the others are policies that we already had. They just require some more updated. Like Michelle said, there's some that you updated in February 2025, and there's already been 2 additional updates on them since then. So just a lot of changes.
I think something I've already seen is that when we, especially when we adopt new policies, if it's a completely new topic, I think we realize along the way that, oh, well, maybe this should have been worded differently or that, and that's why you see more of those changes for the things that are more, that have been newly adopted because they're being utilized and people are realizing there's some gaps in the language.
Thank you.
Maybe, Erin presented some very preliminary numbers. Paige mentioned earlier today that it was a in our state aid, or rather, 11%. Puts us in a better position this year than we've been in previous years, but with contract negotiations and a change in our health insurance plan, it's hard to really nail down where we're gonna land. So I think there's a little bit of work to do. There's still a small deficit, not large as it was last year, so it's better to see. But she's still looking to do that, so we can balance it. And I think we have a work session at the end of the month. 19th. That's in. We have a board work session at the end of the month, but we have a budget.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna give you an update on the FFA advisory board. It's just, meeting was last night, the first meeting we had. I think it's really benefiting school. And the more I learned about it, this helps with the state ed as far as Caroline and for some of her classes to teach. By having this advisory board. And as far as who's on the advisory board, Rob Chamberlain is going to be the chairman. Lynn Van Tassel is the secretary. Mark Bainbridge is part of Bill Murphy, the best discussing Cosby. Lisa Clark Shea, with her experience in the horticulture medical board. And Jessica Hutchison is a professor in Alfred. And myself. And how this is going to work is that during our reorg meeting in July, we will have to accept these names as the committee. So the percentage to this committee and accept them as that, and they're going to follow the terms of the school board. So some like this year, we'll bypass it until it's the organization. But the following year, that person will start out with a 1-year term. But they can move on, just so everything's split up, so not everybody leaves at the same time. And I think it's a great thing. I think it's going to benefit. Carolyn brought a lot of knowledge from her dad, that was actually part of the advisory board of their school and board members. So you know, that's pretty much all I had. She's the advisor. Yeah. This is kind of the point we rely on. She's all right, the other committee reports. We'll move on to financial reports.
Hey,
Welcome back.
thank you. Yeah, so like Jamie said, I've just been working on the budget, still very preliminary at this point. Numbers I even presented last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever that was, they've changed. So, some things that are included in the budget, like additional first grade teacher, enrollment numbers, additional special ed teacher, along with teacher assistant. So those are all pretty large increases to the budget. And that's really just based on year after year on special ed. It's just and at this point, so there's a some special ed teachers back in. Health insurance, we are projected 8% increase. So that's gonna yeah, probably gonna cost there. Some things I'm still working on, we're going through requisitions, department budgets, special ed estimates, so those can, we'll see where we come in with that, as well as the number of kids that are pushing in from other districts for special ed. So I decreased that revenue quite a bit just based on where we're at this year. We lost some 611 kids, they went back to their other programs for their districts. So that number has fluctuated quite a bit this school. So as of today, which again, there's a lot of unknowns, the teacher contract. Numbers at it. It's done, so I'm estimating time for those. So we're just over $300,000 gap at this point. Not really overly concerned with it. The state is issuing significantly more pre-K funding, so we can move the as well. Tax cap, we talked about that at our budget committee meeting. We recommended that we go out of a 1% increase. So I did submit that. Anybody strong feeling for that? So okay, I can adjust it, but
8.1, buddy.
We agree. I wanted to point that again, but we went to it.
so it's just under $32,000. So $300. So it's not significant. And then the last thing I wanted to update you on is this is year 5 of our audit. So we are went out for an RFP. Put out an RFP, so we're in the process of getting some of those. I got a response today from somebody that is not a current auditor, which typically we just get responses from everything, so we will see what we do that. I don't think it's a bad thing for it to change. So, we'll see what happens with that. So they're due April 1st, so. If you have an argument. MMB. Yeah, this one. But the Rochester office. So. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Thank you very much. Good question on that part. Especially. Get any?
We have one, possibly two applicants and another person who's expressed interest that hasn't applied.
Got me a little nervous. We don't usually do a lot of this, so. Can I get a motion to approve the treasury reports?
Motion.
Any questions, comments, concerns on that?
Here's back.
Thank goodness.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. I need a motion to approve the warrant reports. Motion, show the second. Any questions, comments, concerns on the warrants? All in favor? Opposed? I need a motion to approve the revenue status and appropriation status detail reports. Max with vote. Amy Peter. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion. I need a motion to approve funds transfer. That's the only motion. One second. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? All in favor? Opposed? Motion. I need a motion to approve the bus purchase proposition for the May 26th ballot. Motion. Second. Max, the motion, James in the second. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? All good. All in favor? Opposed?
They're really making a fuss, that's like 15.
And just so you know, like this bus, is, will be a bus that's equipped to carry in order to two-hand, wheelchair, so it's a handicap accessible bus, which is, it's actually something that we do need for a district, so it's gonna be a really good purchase.
I need a motion to approve the library proposition. 2065 ballot.
Guys are awake.
I am away, like, man, I really,
Hey.
I'm gonna be kicking them. Sam.
With that amendment.
Yeah.
Got, Tim with the motion.
I'll second.
What was James? Oh, Sean. Sean will second. Any questions, comments, concerns on it? I just had one of the, are they gonna come and present? It's weird how online. Was up quite a bit more. They used to stay right in.
Well, I mean, there was a point, if you remember, I think it was right after you came on, that we raised them substantially so that we weren't going through this
Right.
every year.
I understand it's out of our control as the taxpayers, you know, but.
Correct.
Could ask a question. Yeah, so I'm definitely.
Yeah.
I understand everything's going on, utilities, everything. But it seems like the last. Whole budget since we had. All right, all in favor? Opposed? On to the consent agenda. I get a motion to approve the consent agenda. Joe, the motion, I'll second. Max, the second. Any questions, comments, concerns at all?
So everybody understand what I did for this.
Hearing no questions or concerns. I will, everybody, in favor?
Aye.
Wait. Opposed? Motion. Motion to create an ad hoc planning committee. On. Short terms, we got Tim with a motion.
I'll second.
Joe with the second. Any questions, concerns? With the hockey committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I need a motion to approve the leave of absence for Hamilton. James with motion, Michelle with second. Any questions, comments, concerns with that? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. I need a motion to appoint class advisor Jen Turberry for the junior class. I'm sorry, thanks for the second. Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. I need a motion to approve interim principal Tracy Dyke. Second. Any questions, comments, concerns with that? And can about that last one. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? I get a motion to create an appointed teacher aide position. That's on the top. I'm also. Second. Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. I need a motion to accept the resignation of Marina Chamberlain for retirement. Motion. A second. Max with the second. Any questions, comments, concerns with that? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Informational and discussion. Dr. Paige Kennard will lead this one.
All right, so we have listed some upcoming committee meetings and board meetings. So next Tuesday is the safety and security meeting. Next Thursday is the budget, personnel and negotiations committee meeting. We have a budget work session on March 31st. Aaron's looking really forward to that one. I'm glad Aaron's back. Tuesday, April 14th is the governing committee meeting to review the agenda. And then our April 21st meeting is where we will adopt our agenda for our budget, as well as the BOCE's budget. You will notice that, we do have the annual BOCES budgets, copies for everyone. We received those, which is nice because you'll all have the opportunity to look and, review those, and, if you have any questions, something stands out to you, please let, Aaron or I know, and we can, follow up and try to get you answers if they have questions about the BOCES budget. Under information and discussion, so you do have some of this information, that, Pam and I have for you at your seat. So the first is this little, flyer for the invitation to the BOCES annual budget, and the annual dinner and budget presentation, which is on April 1st. They are asking for reservations by, March 19th. So if that's something you'd be interested in attending, you can let Colleen Jimerson and CA BOCES know that you would like to be in attendance. Okay, it's easier if you let Pam know, and she'll do one for all of us. The second thing we have is the annual spring dinner for the Allegheny County Association of School Boards, which is on April 30th at Moonweeks. You also have a sheet about that, and you'll notice that they changed the format this year, for a forum that's gonna include superintendents and a business official. So again, if that's something you're interested in going to, please let Pam know, right? And then she'll make, reservations for all of us.
So this is there were 3 or 4 of us that went last year to breakfast. We decided that dinner would be better. I personally think that would be better. Yes.
There's. Make sure we're all on the same page. The one that was an only end was the budget. No.
Well, they were
It was
both in
Olean?
Olean. They were
Okay.
both in Olean. They were, one was at
Oh.
BOCES Center, the other one was at the.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, this one's different.
Yeah.
This is BOCES budget. This is like historically it was the legislative breakfast that they would put on. Who went last year with it?
I was gonna say, they used to meet 4 times a year. Yes.
Yep, so we still have delegates meetings that I
Oh, okay.
attend. So this is you just registered me for another one. I think this is our second one. This is only the second one this year. So I went to one at the beginning of the school year. There'll be this one. And then this, though, they've extended this basically to the boards in their entirety.
Okay.
But they thought it would be better attended if it was a dinner versus a breakfast. And they've had to do some budgetary changes too. Women's does a great job, but they've increased their prices, and I know that there's an additional fee now that they have to pay because to like reserve a room. In order, so on top of like that paying for everyone's dinner, they have to reserve the room. So they've just been trying to do some different stuff to be better about how they spend the money. But you have there's been some good presenters there, so.
We talked a little bit about this briefly last month, but next month there will be a motion on the agenda for the district to cover the GPS stand rental at the Angelica Fairgrounds, which I believe is $1,200. So just a heads up with that.
300.
Yeah.
Should be that, right?
Yep, so, yeah, it's $1,100. It includes the rent, electricity, and 4 weekly passes. And we have to do a deposit by, May 1st. So, everyone seemed to be in agreement when we talked about that briefly last time, so we'll have a motion on next month's agenda for the district to cover that cost for the state. 26-27 Board of Education meeting schedule. That is also at your seats today. Pam was kind enough to put together a draft of what dates could look like for next year's school year Board of Education meetings. something to just think about, is now that the, annual meeting has been extended to the Monday after the 20th of July, that reorg meeting now doesn't have to happen just in that first week of July. There's more options, right? So, we just thought it would be important to start getting some dates out there because we know people start planning early. So that's something that, if you have any feedback or thoughts, please let us know, and because we'd like to just get those dates on this calendar soon.
Comparing that with the retreat again.
Last year, the reorg meeting was done separately from the retreat, but we can also look at what dates you might want to have for the board retreat so that we can start planning. Yep. Building condition survey. So I did mention in the data presentation that the building condition survey was due March 1st, which it was submitted. And I know I've been told that in the past, the architects actually came and presented to you the entire building condition survey, and it was quite a lengthy presentation. I heard the last one was like 3 hours long.
I don't think I was here for this.
Okay, so.
Yeah, it was 5 years ago. God, it was 3 hours long and it was.
I don't think it was.
I will say this, at the time, they were talking about the computer program, and that's why it got to be 3 hours long.
And which we were supposed to have access to that.
And we never. I think they tried and it's just never.
You got access?
So I guess the building,
I guess we golf with the guy you get access. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if my Catherine's so hard.
okay, so we have two building condition survey, right? We have the main campus and then we have the bus garage. And when the team met with the architects and went over the building condition survey, we were able to prioritize into the different years the work that would be done. So I'm just putting it out there to just think about how you would like that presented. If you would like a summary, if you would like to see how we prioritize things, if you would like Hunt to come in and do a presentation for you. We just want to make sure that you're getting the information, but we're giving it to you in a manner that you would like to receive.
We're talking about one where we extracted the Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think that was that. I kind of gave you a.
I think when we first put it together, Tim said 5 years ago.
Yeah, that one maybe.
Yes.
I think,
But I think just an update on
Yeah.
what some priorities are for this
Okay.
upcoming year and stuff. I think that's what's really concentrate on.
overview of the current BCS and then the priorities for the next years.
And I have, I have printed from their system, like what the prioritization has already been done. And I'm more than willing to even scan these and put them up in the notebook if you want to just be able to look at them, but then we can schedule a presentation and get the, more detailed information. Would you like that?
That's the presentation of the slide for you.
Okay.
That's up to you. Or it's a presentation from the page on Chris.
Yeah,
I mean, that
Yeah.
doesn't-
I'm fine with that too, yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
So he's gonna know what I spots to hit.
Right.
He would usually sit in on those anyway.
Yeah, but he never had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Graham would love to be here for that. The next thing I put down for information and discussion is, we're already receiving information from BOCES about trainings that would be for the 2026-27 school year Board of Education student member. And I know that this was the first year. We are so lucky to have Riley with us and that we had a student board member. I guess my question is, would you like us to begin that process and be able to bring somebody on at the June board meeting? To kind of do like a little overlap?
It's not a bad idea.
Cause I think last year, like Riley was appointed at the reorg meeting. But that student member can be brought in May, June, or July. As a way for Mrs. Donlin and Mrs. Preston to start. You know, advertising and getting the names of students who would be interested. I just wanted to check and see if you would be okay with us starting that process maybe a little bit sooner this year. Right? Okay, and then we could just plan on, we'll get the student identified and then bring them to introduce you at the June board meeting. Would that be good? Okay. The next thing I wrote down for informational discussion is the fitness center. So the fitness center downstairs has been in operation for a number of years now. And as we all know, after so many years, everything seems to break at once. The machines, the bikes and the treadmills and some of the stair climbers that have the program, that company was bought out by another company. And we basically had like a flat rate fee for all the subscriptions. The subscriptions are now going up to $395 per device per year. So I just wanted to make you aware that for the current fitness equipment we have, in order to get, because you can use them, but you only get 3 minutes and then you have to log back in because the subscription program is no longer valid. So it's gonna be $4,125 to update all the subscriptions. And we also have $3,900 of repairs that need on some of the machines. So. After the subscription, maybe just remove it from being bites and that people lose $30,000. I don't get markers. Yeah,
Just put a one time.
So,
And the, what do you say, the 4,000?
120.
That's annual, the repair fee would be at one time.
Correct, correct.
Probably annual, but it's like.
You think?
Yeah. So we have got, estimates. Yeah, we have gotten estimates for 2 new stair climbers and 4 Peloton bikes. That would include subscriptions. Those 6 new devices would cost $35,824. But they will offer us a 5-year payment plan at $8,250 a year. So I just, I've already started conversations with Mr. Graham that we have to have a replacement plan in place. Like right now, like there's never been a replacement plan for down there. And so I just think we need to start thinking about how we want to maintain that, what equipment we want there for the long haul. But also, you know, I know that when the fitness center was set up, it was a one-time fee of $20. Are we to the point where there should be an annual? I know it's 1%, 0.9. But just the cost of maintaining and updating the equipment it's gonna be significant over the next couple of years. So I'm just hoping because all the top of the line equipment, like meet halfway here and not do all Pelotons, but 50% Pelotons and 50% the cheaper bike. Like,
I don't,
I want us to be a free gym, so if you
I've
have
been
to,
there
if the top of the
3 to
line.
5 times a week, not seeing one person on those bicycles.
Like, what, no, I
I've
spent
been
so
there
much
15
money on
times.
that.
There's 14 bikes.
We don't need
Yeah, I think they're
14
mostly.
Are they?
And those are the ones that every 3 minutes, the treadmills, you don't have to reset. They're
The stair
working.
climbers and the bike should be like.
Yes, the 2 stair climbers, the other ones that are, there's 4 of them. 7 treadmills, 14 bikes, 4 that are right in treadmills, 2 of them that are.
Actual like an estimate,
Like a climber.
yeah.
Can we set up a reserve for this or something? My concern is. I was on board when we built this out to the public for the innovation center and the fitness center. And I think that's how we sold. That. Now we're gonna turn around years later and say, well, now you gotta start paying for it after they already paid for it by agreeing to. The
I think James onto something though, I think there's a
Yeah.
happy medium. I would agree that not having any added expense, but updating it. Like you said, with some older or some non-high tech.
We don't have to have the top
Yeah.
line everything
The-
for a free gym.
Get the nicest airtime they got and.
Don't need a.
Well, I have 3 Air9s at home I'm not using. I'll tell Mr. Kennard we're donating.
Yeah.
But I just think it's important that we start talking about the fitness center because like everything is breaking at once
Mhm.
and we have to have a replacement plan.
Yeah.
Like I can't go to Aaron and say I need $35,000 for new equipment this year. Like we have to work it in.
Is there a specific line item in the budget for it? Or is it under Chris's budget or?
It's under Chris's, I mean, it's probably like 5 million.
Here's the question, and I think it's your point that you said that a lot of it's used during the day for is that, is there anything reimbursable? Anything, because it's being used as a classroom, it isn't, okay.
We can start focusing on equipment that doesn't have a socket.
That's kind of what we.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice to have, but I think Jamie's onto something, splitting it down the middle, having some high tech stuff, but then having some low tech stuff. Also.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just
Yeah.
putting out there like the quotes that Mr. Graham has already gotten for the subscriptions, the current repairs.
mhm.
And what it would cost to get some new equipment, so. It's just something we need to spend some time and energy on. You know, and I've had conversations with different people here in the district that. There's many areas where we need to develop those 3 and 5 year replacement plans. Because we currently don't really have those in place and it's gonna be to our detriment.
Yeah.
Budgetary, so.
And that's our plan, we should have done that pretty long.
Yeah, so just think about, you know, and we can have further discussions, you know, if we're not gonna replace the equipment. At this point, we might wanna do some of the repairs at $3,900 and get things working properly and maybe get a couple subscriptions on 2 or 3 bikes or 2 treadmills and then, you know, go from there, but.
Say create a rolling schedule.
Oh, yeah,
What you're gonna replace over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And then don't replace them all of.
Yeah.
Let's grow.
Everyone's phone and Bluetooth, whatever is gonna connect to them, is it going to be?
I'd have to pull up that, so it's, some of it just needs new oil, new belts, new, yeah, like stuff like that. So, but, yeah, definitely, that's what I'm saying, like this 3 to 5 year replacement plan, like just. Cause right now you basically have the equipment down there that you had from
Mhm.
built it and it's just.
Yeah.
So just think about what that might look like, and if you have any thoughts, just share them with Mr. Graham and myself, and we'll be working to put something together, but just let you know where we're at with that. The 2 things that we added on that I just wanted to share with you is, a member of the Amish community reached out a couple months ago. I can't remember if we've talked about this before or not, but back in the winter, was it before, let's just say it was before Christmas. There was an accident in Angelica where 3 young Amish children coming home from school, their buggy was hit by a car. Luckily, none of them were seriously injured. Their horse was also not seriously injured. And then we went through that really bitter cold spell, right? -18 in the morning. And so they approached us, Mr. Weaver and I went and actually met with them at the Lamont School. They brought in a number of the Amish elders as well as the teachers from all of their schools. What's that?
Atlas, you're,
And they have So the policy says that if they're going to request transportation from the district, it has to be done by April 1st each year. I'm under the understanding from Mr. Weaver that the district has not provided transportation for 4 or 5 years now, since COVID. And so we got the paperwork back on where the home addresses and how many children. There would be 20 children they're asking us to transport to and from school. And Mr. Weaver ran some numbers for me regarding the addresses, what it would cost for the bus maintenance, fuel, and paying a driver. And took those operating costs minus the taxes that we received from the Amish for living in the community. So it's just something I wanted to let you know that we have received a request.
I believe that we stopped transporting them. Just because but we can only transport. Kids.
Right.
So. I don't know if that's changed with them.
Well, that's why I was gonna ask. I didn't know if there were different requirements that maybe the school could provide transportation to those individuals that, for those kids that weren't, but they can't attend public school.
So
I don't know what it is.
When we went through this, it was because of vaccination.
Right.
The state, so we're supposed to order allow Amish kids to have a bus without vaccination, instead of bus. It's
Like, aside from that, I would look at it as what it's necessary, which is one. Were you gonna share his great time?
I can. I just wanted to add that, I have spoken to 2 superintendents. Who do provide transportation for the Amish community. So the Dansville School District and. Jasper Troopsburg. Thank you. Wow. Yeah,
Huge community down there.
they have over 300 Amish students in their
Yeah.
community. Yeah. Yeah. Currently at the 3 schools here, there's approximately 75 students altogether that attend those schools. So I have spoken with both of those superintendents. And each school handles it a little bit differently. The one school is transporting regardless of immunizations. And what is done in both districts though, is it's a separate bus run and only the Amish students are on the bus. And then the bus is thoroughly disinfected prior to using it on a run for the district owned students. So.
We did have our general.
Right, it's a single run.
Amish was on that run.
Yeah. This is right.
So Mr. Weaver estimated the annual operating costs would be around 26,500. Current taxes collected is 14,001, so the difference is 12,004. So I'm just putting it out there for thoughts. I'll keep trying to get more information. But I just wanted to let you know that we have received a request to provide transportation. Well,
Prior to April 1st.
well, we have to receive them by April 1st.
Yeah.
But then we can.
Okay. It's-
Yeah. And then the last thing I put down for information and discussion was the extended school year school violence prevention grant RFP was released about a week and a half ago. So GB had this grant from 2016 to 2021. And then from 2021 to 2026, we were not a district in the state that was awarded the grant. So I just want to let you know that I've already been in conversations with the grant writer, the possibility of applying for this grant again. This grant is between $125,000 and $450,000 per year. Between the extended school day and the school violence prevention. It is a 5-year grant, pre-K to grade 12. And this is the grant that, helped the district provide the free childcare for families after school for 2 hours each day. So I just wanted to let you know that I, started conversations with our grant writer about applying, and if anyone has questions or ideas or thoughts of things that they might want us to maybe possibly look at for the grant, please let me know.
I have no issue with it at all, but I just want to make sure that people know when the grant is over, you just stop. But this needs to be stated out front that we got this grant and the public needs to understand that if we continue this until the grant is out, we're not going to carry it on and then get the physical. It should be.
So I think that's the key is every time they create, so applying for it and not letting it expire without
If it
a
doesn't,
plan moving forward.
if it does expire, they just need to know upfront.
Yeah.
Not gonna deal with a bunch of irate people at board meeting. Yeah.
And as we've talked about before, like, I think it's very important that any grant we apply for, we have a plan for how we're logistically gonna manage that in district. Because right now, we're managing 3 grants, maybe 4, and they're just like, we're trying to fix what was broken. And we just have to have a solid plan. I have started to review a lot of the documents from the previous grant submissions and, because I want to make sure that if we are going to move forward and submit, that I'm already making sure that we're addressing the challenges that were identified last time, so we don't face those same challenges again. So the grant is due April 17th, I believe, so it's actually before the next board meeting, right? So that's where we're at with that. Yeah. So.
That's all. We're gonna go on to executive session. It's,
The plan for the evaluation.
okay. Here.
We need to do that next month.
You can stay.
All right, so you guys,
You need a motion to enter executive session
Yeah.
for the purposes of discussing superintendent evaluation. Only.
So, second. Any questions, comments, concerns on that? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much. Back in the corner, height.
I did.
We're back.
Yes.